Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is a video update on the first PTR update for May, with some huge changes coming our way to both arenas and to the PvP reward track, as well as some updates to the economy and progression here on the servers as well, which are quite interesting and in my opinion pretty cool indeed. Now, I did make a previous intro, so the first section of this video might be a little bit mumbled up. Essentially, I was saying I was waiting for these notes, and then they came out as I was editing, so you can go ahead and enjoy the full notes instead. As always with these videos, if you do go on to enjoy this video, and you want to see more New World content from my channel, make sure you drop a subscribe down below with the notification bell on, and if you do find the video useful, please do drop me a like, as both of those things massively help to support me and my content here on the channel, and boost the YouTube algorithm, which is always very much appreciated. Without further ado, we're going to jump into the video, so I hope you all enjoy. Okay, so jumping back in with you guys, just as I was about to come and edit this video, we've actually literally just had the patch notes released for the arenas update to the PTR, so scrap what I said before about waiting for them. We have now got them. I'm going to go through them with you guys. There is some juicy stuff in here like I anticipated, and some pretty cool things to be able to see what they've kind of worked on in terms of community feedback as well, which is pretty awesome. Firstly, the PTR Backstory. We've got a level 60 Backstory weapon box and armor box counts have been increased from 1 to 3 to assist with build variety, essentially like weapon ability perks and different perks you get on your armor pieces as well. Also, level 60 backstories now issue a sum of gypsum orbs and umbral shards to assist with end game build testing. So essentially you should be able to max out some of your gear. You probably will need to recreate a character in order to get these, but it's probably going to be worth it because that sounds like something that is going to be very much beneficial to those testing the PTR. Now, generally what they've done then in terms of combat / AI, firstly, they have fixed a bug where expedition bosses could fail to perform wipe attacks when all party members are downed. In the Tempest Heart specifically, they have fixed an issue that allowed for a safe space during the Shartum's corrupted flame phase. So this is where the circles of fire come on the floor. That safe space has been removed. Garden of Genesis specifically, the Greenskeeper will no longer target down players prior to starting attacks, so it will go obviously target priority to the players that are still alive. And in the Depths specifically, Thorpe now drops appropriate loot for mutated expeditions, as well as they have fixed an issue where the Toxic 1 and 2 mutator status effect tooltips were stating incorrect damage values. These should now be accurate. Now, looking specifically at certain game modes, firstly, of course, we've seen a big update here. I'll just scroll through that briefly. I'm going to go over it for PvP arenas. So starting this off then, the 3VP introductory quest NPC, Maximus Marcellus, can now be found in the Everfall settlement. That's kind of the introductory quest to the 3v3 arenas, so you can get on board seeing what it's about if you're a newer player or a player that wants to kind of get a bit of backstory to this. They have adjusted the scoreboard so that it does not overlap with other UI elements. They've fixed a bug where the camera became locked after using the scoreboard. Fixed an issue where the PvP arena icon was not appearing properly within the mode screen. Fixed an issue where the round win scores were being swapped at the end of the game's scoreboard. They have fixed a bug where players would receive the local player yellow ring around their portrait. PvP announcer cooldown voiceover will now play and truncate any other voiceovers playing, as it will take priority. Heads up display and scoreboard now account for when a player leaves the group. Removed coin from the rewards banner, as coins are not rewarded by design for PvP arena participation, so you won't be getting coins for that. Bear that in mind. It's not going to be something where you can earn gold. They have removed the requeue button from the ending screen. Players can requeue via the mode menu. This didn't actually work anyway, so it's not like they've removed a feature. They've just got rid of it, the button being there, so saves a little bit of confusion. Now, only the local player's health will affect the music. The effect will now also progressively increase as the player's health reduces towards 0. They have adjusted the arena pillar placement based on feedback to better block the initial line of sight, so you can't get instantly pinged in the head with a bow or with a fire staff, which is great. They have adjusted XP rewards for placeholder values to final values, which would be 400 XP for a win, 0 XP for a loss, 100 XP for a loss if you win 1 round, and 200 XP for a loss if you win 2 rounds. So essentially, you're going to be getting 100 XP per round you win, with the third win there obviously being the game winner, giving you a 200 XP, which is pretty cool. They've also adjusted PvP track rewards from PvP arena participation to now be that you always gain 250 PvP XP when losing an arena PvP match, which before it was sometimes not giving you any. They have added PvP arenas to the leveling reward screen. They've fixed an issue causing players to sometimes initially spawn in below the ground. They've fixed an issue allowing players to attack from the spectators box. Personally didn't see this, but heard reports and it was quite annoying, so that's great. They've added PvP arena consumables. These items are auto-granted to players upon entering the arena and are removed when the player leaves a match. These items are not consumed on use, but respect the normal cooldowns, and these include arena health pots, arena regen pots, arena mana potions, and arena attribute foods. Now this is a huge thing that the community was talking about, and I just want to reiterate this. So it means that you no longer need health pots, regen pots, mana pots, or attribute food when going into the arena. You can select and use those up inside the arena, and they will only last for that match or whatever, and they'll disappear once you go out of there. But it is going to mean that the pots and the regen pots, etc., that I covered in a video a couple of days ago saying you might want to get on top of, you don't need to be as power hungry for right now, because we're going to see these added in by default to be able to use with just a regular cooldown. You just have a permanent pot that just comes off cooldown, which is a pretty cool new addition. Now, they've also made some changes to the wars. They've reworked the bonuses provided by the faction control points, and these bonuses are now as follows. I'll leave that up on the screen for a moment for you guys to read through and look at if you do want to. Of course, the patch notes will be linked in the description as always, but this was covered in my video yesterday as well. If you do want an in-depth look at this, go ahead and watch that one. It'll talk you through all of the old bonuses to the new bonuses, etc., and give you a good understanding of which ones are probably going to be the most contested. Next, we've seen some more weapon updates and weapon balancing just for the Fire Staff and the Ice Gauntlet. So firstly, the Fire Staff then, they have fixed clear casting status effect not being removed when the Fire Staff is sheathed, unequipped or out of combat. They have updated clear casting passives so that it will automatically trigger on combat start instead of requiring you to get hit first, which makes this a lot better. They've also fixed clear casting, clear mind and reheat status effects not being categorized as buffs. They now will be, which of course will affect the healing input that you get from the healing extra for the buffs. And they've also fixed reheat status effect being incorrectly categorized as an empower. It now will be its own thing like it should have been from the start, which is great. Also then, with the Void Gauntlet, they have fixed the bug where players could get into an in-between Void Blade state when getting hit. So this is where you couldn't attack with a Void Blade or the light attacks, normal ranged ones. So that should now be a lot better. Now, they've done a couple of changes here to economy and progression as well. Firstly, they've made some general changes here, which are, we recognise there were too few effective gathering loops for Star Metal and Orichalcum ore. To improve the gathering experience, we've decreased the spawn timers to allow for smaller gathering loops, as well as increased the total amount of places players can farm for these resources. We also adjusted the gold and platinum ore nodes spawn rates to match the silver ore spawn rates. Good luck and happy hunting. So what they've done specifically is added multiple new spawn locations for Star Metal and Orichalcum to the world across 8+ zones. They have updated the respawn times of Star Metal and Orichalcum to match iron ore, and this is roughly a 33% reduction for Star Metal and a 50% reduction for Orichalcum spawn times. So as you can imagine, the prices are going to drop on these, and it's going to mean we can easily get more access to this, which is fantastic. Updated the respawn times of gold and platinum to match silver ores, which again is roughly a 33% reduction for gold and around an 80% reduction for platinum. So again, prices will drop, but it's going to mean that access to these for everybody is a lot more, and that is really cool. And I personally think this is a great change. I'm going to be much more invested in going out and gathering now, which is a big win for New Worlds. That is one of the biggest selling points. Now, Tier 4 hides are currently more rare than we would like, while Tier 5 hides are more abundant, causing a bottleneck at the Tier 4 hides and Tier 5 hides to be less valuable. We have made changes to the level bands, which creatures drop specific tiers of hides to help alleviate this issue. We will continue to monitor this and assess if any future changes are needed to improve the value and volume of Tier 5 hides. So specifically, they have changed the level ranges in which creatures drop hides. So the new updated level ranges are Tier 1 will be 1 to 35, which was previously level 1 to 41. Tier 4 will now be level 36 to 55, which previously was 36 to 50. And then Tier 5 will be 56 to 66, so your real end-game mobs there, which previously 46 to 66. So much tighter. You are going to need to be really in those end-game areas like Eden's Grove to be able to get yourself that Tier 5 hide. But it's also, like they said there, make the Tier 4 hides a lot more accessible, and therefore things like your outfit stations and your crafting in terms of leather, much more accessible to more players, which is really cool. Next here, we've seen some changes to the gear and items. Firstly, the Blackguard's Void Gauntlet was previously changed to Refreshing Evasion to create an identity for the Blackguard's mage items and synergize with the light armor drops in the Tempest's Heart. Based on feedback, it has been changed back to Plagued Crits, so I know a lot of players will be happy about that. You've got your Plagued Crits back on that item. They have removed weight from some of the quest items. They have increased the durability for Tier 1 tools. Elite chests now have a 15 chance to drop 50 umbral shards, which is actually quite decent, and this is again going to incentivize those elite chest runs, especially when you're first getting up from 600 to 625. It's going to be another additional way to get some extra umbral, which is really cool. Lucky Rabbit's Foot is now on a luck safe table. Not too sure what that means, so if anybody knows in the comments specifically what that is, do let me know, but I'm not 100% sure myself. Tier 5 mana potions and Tier 4 mana potions. The drop chance has been reduced for Tier 5 by 50% and Tier 4 by 25% because apparently we were getting too many of those. Legendary refinement material drop chances in aptitude boxes have been reduced, and legendary refinement material drop chances in gathering have been increased. So they're much more focused on getting you to actually go out and gather these rather than getting them as the rewards from the aptitude. However, you should still get them for those higher Tier 2 and Tier 3 ones, but just keep an eye on it. For right now, we've seen less of those and more from the gathering side. Skinning legendary refinement materials have been reduced generally, which is interesting because with the changes to the skinning we saw above with the hide levels, this could be an interesting one, but we'll see how it goes. And finally, rarities on legendary refinement and legendary materials have been adjusted so that the refinement is epic and the refined materials are legendary, which is nice little quality of life upgrade, if you will, there. Next, we've seen some big changes to the PvP reward track. Firstly, here we have seen adjusted thresholds based on player feedback. These have been adjusted from 2,000, 6,000 and 12,000 to 2,000, 5,000 and 10,000 as it was taking players slightly longer than intended to level up. So you need less PvP XP in order to get a full track completed now, which is great. They have increased the salt reward from leveling to compensate the shorter tracks, so you'll get more salt for leveling up, which is great because that in turn means that you can buy some of the better PvP rewards more quickly. They have adjusted the potion pack rewards at level 60, so hopefully this means we get a few more potions because one was, it felt like a little bit of a scam, so let's hope we've got a few more there in place of what it was previously. They've added gypsum and umbral shards to the first and second notches, which is a great addition. I really like that. They've added an icon for level milestones in the character screen. Great addition. Personally, I would like to see this somewhere displayed above the character's head once going around the world, so we could see kind of what tier at least you were at in that PvP track, but also maybe the level would be cool as well. They've fixed an issue where the PvP reward emblem pop-up was showing as an achievement name instead of the granted title text. They've added new PvP perks to go along with the PvP reward track. Now, all of these PvP perks I did talk about in a previous video. Again, I'll leave a card to that on screen for you guys now in the top corner. If you want to go ahead and watch that video, I've covered all of these things and there is some really cool ones on the way, so certainly worth having a look at. Again, these will be linked down below in the description as well as me displaying it on screen now, so if you guys do want to check it out for yourselves, do feel free to go ahead and do that. These are really cool. They only work in PvP, so wars, open world PvP, OPR and 3v3 arenas, but some of them are super useful, particularly looking at that arenas basis. You're certainly going to want to get hands-on with them. Now, a question that I would like to cover just before it comes up in the comments, the way to get these at the moment is only from the PvP track. Some of the gear comes with these already on, or once you get it to 600, we'll get it as a third perk. Right now, there is no craft mods for them. Whether that will be changed in future updates, we don't know, but for the time being, the PvP reward tracks are the only way to get these brand new perks. Next then, we've got some changes to rewards and loot. They've fixed an issue preventing the Blackguard's blunderbuss from dropping. It should now be dropping from Nishatum in the Tempest Heart. Notable fixes: they've added refinement recipes to the Gypsum Kiln to refine single stat perk items from multi-stat ones. Again, covered this in yesterday's video, so feel free to go back and watch that if you want to. Essentially, you're going to be able to craft things like the Iron Battle Medal from anything that was like strength split with another stat. So again, this is the same for all single stats. You can craft them from the split stat ones, which is pretty interesting. Does cost a bit of tax if you do it in one of the 2 tax settlements, and it does cost you 20 Azoth as well as 5 of the split stat craft mods, but it could be worth doing. Like I said, covered fully in yesterday's video if you do want more information on that. And then finally, to kind of wrap up these notes then, we've got the UX, UI and social. Firstly, a QOL change here where they've added a notification for when a player joins a game mode with not enough room in their inventory to accept rewards. This is good just to notify people so they don't not get stuff. And the last one here is World Experience, where they've changed a couple of quests, which our players should no longer be stuck in a loop during the Trial of the Scrivener faction progression quest. And Soul Warden Epitaph Interactable is now placed where players can reach it with no issues. So actually quite a lot of decent updates here, to say the least, and quite a lot of player feedback driven updates, it would seem, especially surrounding the arenas and of course the PvP reward track, which is excellent to see, as this has only been out for just shy of a week now, about a week's time at the time of recording this video. So we've got another couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks before we're going to get into this being released, and it's already starting to make progress towards a better kind of usability, better quality of life in those instances, and again just more friendly towards how the players want it to interact in the game, which I think is huge props to New World teams. So other than that, that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Like I said at the start, if you have, please do be sure to drop me a subscribe and a like, as both of those things massively help to support me and my content here on the channel. And other than that, I will catch you again very shortly with a brand new upload. So thanks for your time, thank you for watching, take care and peace.